stepped away. It is a beautiful day. I'm alone and you. You're in the car at night. Blue, my only flaw.
Well, good night, everyone. We missed you last week, but last week was not a really good week for us um, because the entire nation was mourning last week. And so we are here tonight with you. And of course, you recognize my guest that I'm having. We are here tonight to share some information with you. But before we do that, let me say to those persons who would have celebrated birthdays between last Wednesday and today, happy birthday to you. To all of those persons who would have celebrated wedding anniversaries, happy anniversary to you too. And I trust that God is going to continue to bless you and lengthen your life so that you'll be able to see many, many more anniversaries or celebrate many more anniversaries, birth and wedding anniversaries. And of course, we extend our condolences to those persons who would have lost loved ones. It's not easy to lose a loved one. And so we share your pain, and our prayers and our thoughts are with you. And especially, we want to extend our heartfelt condolences to MP Joretta Fernandes and her family as she lost her sister tragically. And we understand the pain that they're feeling because that was a sudden one. We trust that you're going to be comforted by the fact that you were able to spend and to enjoy many, many good moments with her. And you're going to use those moments to have her memory live on. Randy, we're here with our folks tonight.
Yes.
And our theme, we didn't have our theme posted there, but our topic, our theme for tonight is caption. Y'all think it will be easy? Randy, what do you think?
I think by now the entire Guyanese population know that the PPP ain't easy. We've seen it over the last, and I think they're bolder. They've been installed into power 2020, and they've come with a boldness because, of course, they're being backed by the oil money now. So, I just received a message that money is being shared out in our Town area. Apparently, the candidate there, who is backed by the PPP, is sharing out these monies in the guise of small business grants to these young people in the community. I mean, we see the tactics, and as I said, they're bold.
But Randy, while I understand you want to help this small man, why you couldn't help them all the time? Why they couldn't help them all the time?
Exactly.
And I'm hoping that our viewers, you are listening and you're observing and you're pulling the in between, you're reading it between the lines. 3 years ago, no help was given to this small man, or if any at all was given, it was very little. But now, just before local government elections, we got plenty monies to give away to this small man. The other thing, Randy, in the school system, school closes in July. And so in July, we await the distribution. Preparations are being made. And in July, the distribution of the cash grants. The cash grants are going to be distributed as of Monday. As of Monday, the cash grants are going to be distributed.
I wonder why. What is it that they want the people to spend it on?
Well, that's another story. Parents, go collect your $40,000. If you have two children, you have 3, you have 4, you have 5, go collect your $40,000. But make sure you put that aside to ensure that you have their school uniforms and their books and their pencils or pens, their socks and ribbon bows and so on, whatever they're going to need for school. Don't allow the PPPC to dope you into spending out your monies at this time.
Yeah.
Put your monies aside to assist you in ensuring that your children are prepared for school come September. But Randy, these PPP people, y'all think this government easy? Randy, the PPP equal jailbreak.
School fires.
Oppression.
Discrimination.
Elections fraud.
Corruption.
Election exams leak. Randy, we can go on and on and on and on and talk about the PPP.
Low wages.
High cost of living. Scandals.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez.
Yep.
More poverty,
Nepotism.
pile up garbage in the city.
Yep. Yep. You know, the interference in local democracy.
These,
This is we can go on. We can go on.
these people not easy. And I had a post that I created a couple of days ago
Mhm.
where I tried to put 19 things
Mhm.
that can go hand in hand with the PPP. But they don't care. They don't care. And they, like you said earlier, because they were installed,
Mhm.
they got even more brazen.
Yep.
So the Buzo that we saw at the ambassador's residence a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
they're really bold. We have bolder people now.
Mhm. Mhm.
And this should be saying something to us. But Randy, I want us to focus a little on the Mahdia
The fire, the
dorms
tragedy.
fire, that tragedy,
Mhm.
that national tragedy. I sometimes wonder, why is it that the PPP are known for negative things? Let's not doubt the fact they have something good, some good things that they got, but most of it is clouded with negativity.
Mhm.
We're always on the world front for negative things.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the other day, we had the PS. I noticed her phone would have been returned.
Mhm.
The PS, her visa being revoked,
Yes. Yeah.
her
Yeah.
phone seized.
Mhm.
But we still have her functioning in office.
Well, that is the PvP for you. There's no sort of you know, nobody is held accountable for anything. Nobody.
I mean, they ain't got no shame.
I don't think that shame is a word that we associate. The people don't care. I don't believe that they care at this point in time. I believe that they feel that they can buy their way out of whatever they're doing. And so it's a level of callousness that you see in their actions, right? We see it every single day. It's a bravado because they believe that, hey, the Guyanese people are going to continue taking it if we top them up at 10,000 or $25,000 every couple mornings.
Well, viewers, let me say to you, $5,000, it can't even buy you a proper meal. $10,000, that might be able to give you a meal and a half, but
Mm,
that's only a meal and a half.
yeah.
That's not long term. So let's not be confused. Don't be confused with the PPP and all the jump around. When it's circus time, you see the PPP. Don't get confused with them. If they give you the $10,000, I mean, take it.
Of
But
course.
know exactly what you have to do. These are the people who were in office for 3 years and they're still in office, but they've not seen it fit to do anything for you over the last 3 years. But now, just about a month or 2 months or 3 months before local government elections, you're seeing roads all over, roads being constructed all over the place,
Mhm.
roads being regraded
Mhm.
all over the place. But it's not the regrading and the construction of the roads, it's how they're being done.
Yeah.
And the people who doing these roads, I see some overnight contractors. Boy, it ain't easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's just go back to something. I know we deal with a number of topics here, but uh, I just realized what you said to me, that cash grants, school uniform grants are going to be
Hmm.
given
Hmm.
before elections.
Yes.
So it is very strategic. It is very obvious that this school grant is now going to be used as an election gimmick,
Hmm. Hmm.
because you didn't even say August month. You didn't even say July month.
And the thing is, that the times are tough with people.
Mhm.
So when you give them the monies now,
So that they can feel nice leading into local government election. They go and they spend it. What is happening? Those students come, that the parents that was depending on it. They were depending on it, and now they, oh man, let me spend it to buy something. It might not buy the school uniform. It is just very strange. Just very strange
PPP see
and easy.
people's them and easy, them and easy. But Randy, let's
Mhm.
talk about this Mahdia fire.
Yes.
I mean, as a mother, this thing really rocked me. And so last week, I couldn't come on this program last week
Yeah. Yeah.
because I am thinking here, my child could have been a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I understand how those mothers are feeling, how those fathers are feeling. We've seen them weeping openly,
Yeah. Yeah.
how those sisters are feeling, how those brothers are feeling. And rather than being sympathetic towards these people, we've seen the PPP go out there and make a big brother as if it was a bashment party they had.
Mm-hmm.
2,000 pictures. I saw somebody sending me
Mm-hmm.
2,000 pictures with the president flashing all over the place. I mean, this is what you do to people in their time of grief.
And what is interesting, Kurt, and as the nation mourns for the loss of these children, the government made it a big deal to show this, to show that, look, we're taking pictures with the families and whatever. At the same time, telling people on the internet, the president came on to tell people on the internet, well, stop rehashing the story, stop self-analyzing. What madness is that?
But then
So,
you're doing the same thing.
right, you are pushing the children into the spotlight with all the pictures and everything, and you're going to tell people on the internet to stop analyzing, over analyzing. And when this came the night after they took those children out to the hospital
I
and
was gonna,
paraded them at the vigil.
I was gonna come to that.
And so that the backlash that they got from that made him say, "Oh, y'all stop talking about the children."
Now, the thing is, Randy, I don't know who advising these people. Maybe some of our viewers might be able to tell us who advising these people. Now, these people, these children were in heat,
Mm-hmm.
real big time heat.
Mm-hmm.
They probably had the experience of hell on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Children who barely got away with their lives, hospitalized, many of them traumatized,
Mm-hmm.
grieving for their friends. They were discharged from hospital. Rather than have some counselors sitting there with them, talking to them, trying to coax them back into returning to normalcy,
Mm-hmm.
you have them here, you drag them to the Humaniano for whatever candlelight vigil, wherever it was, you drag them there.
Mm-hmm.
And here you have them looking at the pictures of their friends and candles being lit. No,
The empty chairs. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. The students had their hospital bands on still.
yes.
And, I am wondering if those ministers, those were their children, if they would have put their own children through that. And so this excuse that they gave of the children wanting to be there is hogwash.
No, I don't understand. The children wanting to be there, and here you have children screaming and sobbing and crying and holding on to each other. You
Mm-hmm.
think children would want to put themselves through that again?
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think so. But this was an opportunity for those government ministers who did not get a chance to hug and take out a picture to post on
Mm-hmm.
the internet. That was their opportunity to do that
Right,
at the
right,
expense of our children,
right.
at the expense of their parents and the way they feel. I mean, it was disgusting. But let's talk a little more about this Mahdia school
Yes.
fire.
Those are the aftermath things, but we need to really dig deep into some of the root causes, and even as the fire was happening, what were the measures in place to ensure safety?
Well, this is where we're gonna go before we get really into what
Mm-hmm.
transpired. Now, I saw on social media where the Guyana Fire Service last year, November, issued a warning or whatever we want to term it to the regional education officer
Yes.
in Region 8 at Mahdia, highlighting the fact that these grills should be taken off
Yeah.
because it is dangerous. And if there's an emergency, things could happen.
Yeah.
I saw them issuing that again in February of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody paid heed to that.
Yeah.
But a little 15-year-old is given 19 murder
So it's
charges.
going to be 20 now.
Well, it's going to be 20 just now because another child died yesterday or this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday morning, I think it was. Now, the thing is, who gave permission for for those grills to be put on there?
Right.
Where were the building contractors? Were these the person who put on these grills? Who told them to put grills on those windows? Every single window, lock up grills. I mean, when you look at this thing, it seems as if these children were either birds or endangered species, that you put them in there and you're locking them up.
It seems as though the grill work was reminiscent of a holding facility, like a juvenile facility.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right. So that is something that has to be dealt with. You know, it is sad that we are so reactive as a people, as you know that. But we say this every time we have a tragedy. This has to be fixed. But it is inexcusable to hear now that they were warned and this issue was flagged. So who are the persons, what are the agencies that are supposed to take action once the fire service says, hey, this is a potential problem? That is the issue.
Let's move away from that a little bit. Randy, we had the North Rumfeld Secondary School fire in June of 2021. And then we had the Northwest Secondary fire in September of 2021. Then we had the St. George's Secondary fire in July of 2022.
Yeah.
And then we had the Amelia's Ward Primary School fire in September of 2022. And then we had the Christchurch fire in January of 2023. Was nothing learned from those experiences?
Yeah.
To back up a little, we had the Warramadong dorms burnt in 2008 when Sheikh Bash was Minister of Education. Didn't we learn
I think
anything
we lost
from
the
that?
students in that
Three.
one. Okay.
Three indigenous girls we lost in that fire. Today, the count now is 20 indigenous children, 19 girls, 1 5-year-old boy. Is it that this government doesn't have respect for our indigenous brothers and sisters? That is causing them to just dump them in a facility, like you rightfully said, a holding facility?
Yeah.
Where were the education officers? Weren't they checking to see what was happening there?
Right.
Where was the education minister? She's traveling all over the place, but you recognize every region that has been won by the coalition, she don't make it a special effort to travel to that region to check out anything that is happening in that region. Are you taking notice? And I'm hoping that our viewers are taking note of that. You check the regions that have been won by the coalition, there is little or nothing much that is being done in those regions by this administration. And this can be classified as wickedness. And a set of people who feel that they can continue to oppress people or citizens who are not seeing the kinds of ideologies and agreeing with them with the kind of ideologies that they're putting out. But yet, we got the One Guyana big slogan flagging all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to look at these issues seriously. All kinds of people get in contract who can't even hammer a nail. Now, where is or was the ministers of local government?
Yeah.
Where was Dharram Lal?
I wanted to.
Where was Anand Prasad?
Yeah.
More than that, where is the Minister of Amerindian Affairs? She never passed by there. Almost every week it is alleged that she's in Mahdia, at a club in Mahdia. It never dawned on her that, hey, here are some of my Amerindian brothers' children or sisters' children. They're in this dorms. Let me go find out what is happening there. It is sad when we're getting all these revelations. I saw the other day somebody showing us where the children would go down to a creek or some canal to bathe. They don't have bathroom facilities. I mean, in this oil-rich country, this is how we are treating our indigenous brothers and sisters, our indigenous children. This is the way we're treating them. Then I could imagine what they're getting for the meals. Maybe we got to find out about that.
Yeah. It's a sad situation in especially those outlying regions when it comes to facilities and schools and things of those sort. I want to touch on something that you mentioned. They are there's blame to go wrong. A number of ministries here, right? The Ministry of Education, of course, should be in contact with the
Local government.
local government and the regional education office there to know what's happening.
So we're actually seeing a stepchild treatment being given to Mahdia.
Yes, definitely. And that sort of neglect is clear because we know that disaster risk management and safety in schools and these facilities, they fall under the local government ministry, whilst education deals with the policy and teachers and stuff.
Yes.
But so I'm saying both ministers have to answer questions.
Well, I wouldn't leave it at both ministers. I would say Priya must go home. She must do the decent thing and send in a resignation. Dharamlal and Anand Prasad should send their resignations in. Robeson Ben should send his own in. The Minister of Labor should send his own in. Pauline should send her resignation in as well. I don't understand. This shows a clear case of not only neglect, but incompetence on the part of these people. All of these ministries are supposed to be intertwined with each other. Because the Amerindian Affairs Minister, you see her in Parliament presenting big and bold what we are doing for the Amerindians, and they're buying all these tractors and all these trailers and these ATV bikes and boats and all kinds of things. What happened to the children in the dorms at Mahdia? Not even a water tank, a black tank?
Well, the pictures show that they were tanks, but whether or not they were working is a different story. Because I saw an aerial shot of the dorm areas and they had tanks there. But apparently they're not functioning because the children still had to go down to the creek.
But that's what I'm saying. They had to go down to the creek. I mean, these are girls. These are our girls. That's how you're exposing them. No wonder the children are exposed to adults interfering with them and making proposals to them. Because when they head to the creek to bathe, who's supervising them there? Who is there to say to them, well, don't take off all your clothes, or you need to have a little top on and a tights on, and when you get home, you're going to maybe wash your underwear. Who was there to supervise these girls? And so the Ministry of Education, they created a whole big fancy position where they have an officer for Amerindian hinterland affairs, something to that effect, or hinterland affairs. I think he's either CEO or ACEO for hinterland affairs. Where was this young man? Why he never passed by the dorms?
Somebody asked where is Schumann?
Well, that's another story. But we're dealing with the ministers first, and I'm saying that
they have direct
should,
responsibility.
Yes, and they should go home. They must answer.
Yep.
Priya must answer. Dharamlal and Anand must answer. Their government ministers, they must answer. Robeson Ben must answer. One Edgil must answer. Because they went and built a road to one of their supporters' house, close to where the supporter live, and building a road there, rather than putting a road from the dorm, so a proper road, so that they fire, well, don't talk about the fire engine, because it's only one they got for the big place. One.
Yeah.
And so the poor firemen now had to be struggling. I mean, all these monies that were passed in the budget.
And they keep coming supplementary, they're coming for more. What are they doing with it?
And Mahdia has been neglected. These people are heartless. And the citizens of Guyana, not only the folks in the citizens in Mahdia, but the citizens of Guyana must call them out. And we must demand. Because you know what? If it were on the other foot, if it were the coalition in office, you would not have been hearing your ears at this time. You would not have been hearing your ears. Now you have a whole lot of children who are traumatized. Billions of dollars went to education. Where are these monies going? You know, somebody was saying to me, well, they're probably gone to Windsor Castle. Is Windsor?
Windsor Estate.
Windsor Estate and some apartment building in Cummins Lodge or
Cummins Lodge.
somewhere there, and other apartment buildings in Cummins Lodge and so on. And so, when they think people don't know what is happening, people know. These are the people who want to talk about who care and who don't care when they are heartless.
Let me say this. I'm trying to figure out what is the approach. And it seems as though Priya doesn't care. And this is why I say this. Since you were installed in government and you were put in that position as Minister of Education, we've had several school fires. You would think that after the first 2 school fires, Priya would say, hey, not another fire on my watch.
Nope.
Not another fire on my watch. You would think that would be her position. And we would see significant changes in school safety, in fire safety, and you would see lots of things being put in place, whether it's smoke detectors in schools, sprinkler systems, fire extinguisher in every classroom, something. They complete overhaul of electrical systems and say, hey, as long as I'm education minister, we will not have another fire. After the second one, let's just say after the second one, you say that. But nothing has changed. Nothing has changed under her watch.
Because you know what? They blame the coalition for everything. Remember they said they fired at Christchurch was arson?
Yes.
We can't hear up to now already because they fired St. George's secondary. North Romville multilateral. I can't remember what was the cause of the fire there.
Some
but
electrical thing.
With all of these fires, who should we blame?
Right. You are the minister. Your job is to put things in place.
The minister got to take the blame for it.
Put things in place. Nothing has changed. Listen, we're in education, and we can tell you that it's same old at most of the schools. Nothing new in terms of school safety and fire safety has been put in place. How have you made the schools safer, given that you're having these problems with fires?
And so 20 of our Amerindian children, 19 girls and 1 boy, they have died at the hands of this heartless cabal. Priya heading the list. They've died, and these children, their blood will remain, their screams will remain on you.
Yep.
All of you. And the president should be ashamed to stand up to tell anybody anything. Because you are just as incompetent as your ministers. Because if you were about the people, you would have sent 1 or 2 of them packing already. As a matter of fact, with May causing this kind of embarrassment on us, you would have sent her packing. But no, all these people they got secrets for one another. Y'all got secrets for one another. So you can't send anybody anywhere. But don't worry. Old people got a saying, long time done, short time left.
I don't know that he's as incompetent as them. I feel like he's more incompetent than them.
You cannot stop repeating what people are saying. It's all about family, friends, and the favorites.
Yeah.
But you know what? We have Durham's at Paramakatoy. We have at Port Kaituma. We have at Golden Grove at President's College there. We have at Charity. We have at St. Ignatius. We have in Region 10. I'm hoping that a lesson would have been learned. And we are going to use the August vacation to ensure that at least a fire extinguisher is there. At least, I say 1 for now. At least you're making an effort to put 1. I'm also saying that what happened to the days of fire drill? Randy, I'm sure you remember fire drill at school. Just yesterday, we had fire sparks at the Government Technical Institute. Friday, was it Friday or Thursday? We had sparks at St. John's College.
Yeah, there's no attempt to fix anything.
I mean, these people not learning. The Minister of Education, all she could do is take time off to post a whole lot of nonsense on Facebook and to abuse everybody who is not standing with her, to abuse them out on Facebook. Rather than sitting down, and I've been saying this over and over, the energies the minister is spending to abuse people out or to put her officers to abuse people out, they should use those same energies to fix the schools, to talk with your local government colleague and y'all fix the schools. Yes, while we understand that Dharamlal and Anand, they have responsibility for all 10 regions, these are the schools that you are responsible for the safety of the children. But talking about this, I wonder where is Joe? He probably sleeping. Because just the other day, we had them celebrating Occupational Health and Safety Month.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to these schools? Nobody checking these schools. Where are your officers, Joe? They're not going to these schools. We know that you're not checking the business places because some of you collecting little bit and little bit and little bit and little bit from these businessmen. So you're not going to check those business places. What happened to these schools? Innocent children have lost their lives. So all of them, their screams and their bloods are on you. Y'all don't have any shame? Now, when you can turn to children, to neglect children, then Randy, you understand that adults getting pitched left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I remember when we had the Camp Street fire. Man, you couldn't see, you couldn't hear your ears. Ramjatan must go. Who must go now? Or how many must go now? At least 7 of them must go.
I don't think this PVP, as I said, they don't hold people accountable. So I'm not going to hold my breath, but it is going to be an example or an opportunity for Guyanese people to see the incompetence and see the lack of accountability.
Well, it's every day we're seeing that.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that our viewers, that you are seeing this and you are reading into everything that is happening. I remember when the coalition start doing developmental works in communities, having drains being kept so that the water could flow, fixing roads and so on. And we heard them saying, you can't eat roads.
Yep.
But apparently now the citizens in this country could eat roads.
It has become edible, apparently.
You could eat roads now because all over roads are being built. When it's not roads, it's hotels. And we're talking about investments. Yeah. And when you check these hotels that are being constructed, 95% of the staff or the workers there are not Guyanese.
Yeah. And the issue with the corruption causes a problem in that these roads that are being done are inferior roads. A lot of them are being given to contractors who don't know anything about roads. Friends.
Well, if you check some of the ministers, they're inferior themselves. You know, I always get into trouble when I'm on this program. I always get into trouble.
But before we end on the Mahdia thing, I think moving forward, the onus is on the lawmakers, those legislators like yourself in Parliament, to ensure that we deal with this and regulations are in place and are enforced so that we have proper safety mechanisms in our, especially our schools and where we're holding people's children. Now, we have a grill culture in Guyana. And so many persons might have passed that building up and down and didn't see anything wrong with it because it is part of our culture to see a lot of grills. I understand that. But something has to be put in place where you stipulate, hey, if you're going to have a grill, it must be able to be open from the inside.
I've been saying that.
It is so easy to put a lock and put the key somewhere inside on multiple windows so you can have a means of escape if an emergency is to occur. So those things are missing: fire suppression systems, fire detection systems, and ease of exit through windows in case of emergency. Your grill must be able to be open from inside. I mean, I know in the coming days, the opposition will put forward those things in Parliament. Let us see if the Speaker will decide that is urgent enough.
Well, why? I don't know, because nothing don't be urgent for this man when it comes to the opposition.
No, the opposition has no urgent matter that they can discuss or bring to the floor.
Nothing. I mean, we've seen wells being dug and so on.
Mhm.
At the school, it is alleged that the fire engine couldn't even get water from close by there because
Yes.
they had some 2-inch pipe there.
Wow.
I mean, this is a dorm facility. Aren't you going to ensure that there's a hydrant somewhere close by?
Yeah. 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 Sad. It's really sad.
It is more than sad. And many persons should be asked to go home.
Yeah.
The regional executive officer should be asked to leave with immediate effect.
Mhm.
I mean, when you look at this whole thing, the PPP feels that they can come and cover around these people and tell them, oh, yes, we're going to compensate you. We're going to stand the cost for the funeral expenses
Mhm.
and give the people a little bit of money. But no amount of monies could bring back those girls and that boy. None whatsoever. All the hugs that you're trying to give them to show to the world that you're so caring, that can't bring back these children. 19 potential citizens we have lost. Well, 20 potential citizens who I'm sure had the dream of becoming an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, a prime minister, a future prime minister, a president.
Mhm.
Those dreams went with the fire.
Yep.
They went with the fire.
Yep.
And it's not only that the dreams went with the fire, but several communities across Region 8
Lost.
have
Yep.
lost potential citizens.
Mhm.
Just today, I think it was 4 of them were buried, 4 from one community. Now, what do you say to the people in those communities?
Mhm.
Huh? Are we going to hug and parade ourselves along the road? That will resolve the issue. That will ease the pain that they're feeling. These people are just reckless, heartless, incompetent, and everything is about them. Y'all think they're easy? They're
Yeah.
not easy.
Not easy.
But you know, Randy, on when we look at what is happening, local government elections, as a matter of fact, we had 3 days of mourning. And just after the 3 days were completed, we got big botheration,
Yeah.
juve party,
Mhm.
something at a party, wine and something
Of
party.
course, you think we could have done a week of
The
mourning?
mon-
That would have gone into the party time.
money's got make, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Money's got make. That's how citizens' lives are valued in this country. That's how the lives of children are valued in this country. The PPP got to go.
Mhm.
They got to go. Citizens, let me urge you. Local government elections is on the 12th of June. Don't give these people any space.
Mhm.
They don't deserve it. Look at what is happening in our towns. Imagine the prime minister went into Mahdia. Other ministers went into Mahdia. The president went into Mahdia. And the total disrespect was shown to the mayor, the deputy mayor, and the rest of the people there.
Yeah.
Huh? All because they are not of your kind, in the sense of not belonging to your party.
Yep.
What kind of people we have running government?
Yeah.
No decency whatsoever. They don't know anything about protocols. Huh? And these are the people who like to tell you about who must do what and who must do what. They love to come and preach to people, but they don't live the way they preach. You know, I sat there last Monday, not this Monday, the Monday before, and I listened to the installed president at the Caribbean Labor Ministers Conference. The first thing, he's trying to get sympathy from all the ministers who come from all the different countries,
Mhm.
with the way, he was speaking as if he's so saddened by the death of these children. And the same ministers at that conference, they were saying, if this president would practice what he preaches, Guyana would be a better place.
Mhm.
Imagine some of the labor ministers saying that.
Yep.
And if they think people don't see through them, people see through you all the time. All the time. When you come with your big camouflage, they recognize that you're wolves in sheep clothing. You can't fool the people anymore. But you know what? I am happy, Randy, that we are living in the days of technology.
Mhm.
So this was not like the 2008 fire where it was just kept hush hush. This one, the entire world saw this. It was on CNN, it was on this way, that way. All the media, international media houses carry this. As a matter of fact, just today I was watching one where they were updating folks that one more child died from the fire.
Yeah.
So it's now 20.
Yeah.
And so when you think that people not watching you, PPP, people seeing you, they're seeing everything you're doing. But Randy, let's talk about this little 15-year-old girl.
Yeah. Who I believe is being offered up like the sacrificial lamb now
Well,
to
I know that.
not let us have the conversation that we've been having tonight about responsibility and culpability and accountability. And so this is their offering. Look, let's charge her. My thing is that she's a child, and I see they've charged her with murder, and they're going to. I'm assuming child, try her as an adult. I'm not going to wade into the legality of that, but I believe that um, whatever you know repercussions come her way, let the law deal with that. My problem is don't use that as use her as a scapegoat and a distraction. Do not use her as a scapegoat and a distraction. That is my problem that I will want to point out very early.
Randy, while I understand that she did something that was wrong, we have to go to the root of the problem.
But that's true too.
And who are the persons that were responsible? Now, here you have girls, teenage girls, girls moving from one phase of their lives into another phase of their lives. And we understand the changes that are taking place in their bodies and what we ought to look out for. Did we have counselors there to offer any form of counseling to these girls? Now, the fact is, and sometimes we take things for granted. These children were brought from their homes into a strange land. Let me say it that way. They've been removed from what they're accustomed to, their culture,
Yes.
their kind of food, and we're giving them our kind of food. I mean, they're probably mixing it up and they're getting the farine and so on there too. But these are children who you've brought from where they were accustomed to another land. We're supposed to now have these children at all times being groomed. I mean, this is what dorms life is supposed to offer you. You're supposed to be able to eat with knife and fork. I wonder if they had that being done there. You're supposed to teach the girls how to sit properly. If those kinds of things were being done at the dorms, then some of the issues that are now spilling out, we might not have had so many of them. Now, here it is alleged that this young girl, she just returned to the dorms from suspension, just returned from suspension. And it is also alleged that she was suspended because of this relationship she's having with an adult. What were the steps that you were supposed to put in place upon her return?
Yeah. If you know that this child is, having these troubles, then some special attention needed to be paid.
Now, the child, you recognize that this child was still having the conversations. You had to put the grills on the window. Let's deal with that one first. What happened to the fencing of the compound? Why wasn't there proper fencing around that building so that we wouldn't have to put grills? Couldn't we not do concrete fence?
Yeah.
And lift the fence a little higher and put some barbed wire around the top? So that would prevent them, like they're saying, oh, the girls getting away at night, so they had to put on grills. Somebody couldn't think about putting on maybe 4 or 5 rows of blocks, which would have been far cheaper than the grills.
That would have been a big budget. You want to fence it, and as far as I see it, the government really didn't care about that region. That's how I see it. And what happens in that region is not their concern really. And so we have all this neglect happening. So
outside of caring for the region, they have now showed that don't care attitude to innocent children.
Yep. Yep.
Innocent children came in for being punished. I mean, this is a government who claims to care.
We care.
So we're moving from the fence and the dorms. What about the dorm's mother? How often were our education officers visiting the dorms? Now, here it is again, another allegation that the child said after her phone was taken from her, she's going to burn the place down. Now, if you hear something like that coming from a troubled child, because they said, they're saying she's a troubled child. If you hear something like that coming from a troubled child, what steps you supposed to put in place?
Yeah.
Weren't you supposed to take that child from out of that environment? Maybe take her to the hospital or take her somewhere else and have her under watch. You took that for granted, and now 20 lives have been lost. 20 students. Some of them burnt beyond recognition. I mean, this is caring? Is this how we describe caring? Is this how you show care?
Yeah.
I mean, I am hoping that those parents are not going to be cajoled into just accepting some financial compensation, but that these parents would seek legal avenues.
Yeah. Lots of neglect, lots of systems were not in place.
Quite a lot were not in place.
Yeah.
I am hoping that these parents would seek legal avenues to find redress.
Yeah.
The state has got to be held responsible for what has happened there. There's no excuse. But every time the coalition, every time you have to talk about it, you hear you're making it a political thing and you want to gain cheap. They love to say you want to gain cheap political mileage. But when they were in opposition and they were talking about every single thing, it wasn't cheap political mileage. But Randy, I want to again extend our sincerest condolences to those parents who have lost their children.
Yes.
Who have lost their children. I noticed we had a comment from one of our viewers there.
Yes. So you're saying that the murder charges are misplaced, right? If she committed arson, and the result of deaths would be manslaughter, right? He's talking from a legal standpoint here.
And if she's charged for murder, all those responsible for the deficiencies needs to be charged right up the chain.
Yeah, responsibility and accountability.
And this is what we're saying. Why try to make this little girl a scapegoat? Is it that you're trying to appease people? People seeing through that. Don't use this little girl because you failed her.
Yeah.
All of you, Priya, Nigel, Annan, Pauline, Robeson, Edgil, Joe, all of them failed these children. They failed that little girl. Every single one of them failed that little girl. Now you're putting her in a juvenile detention facility or holding facility. Is there any form of counseling being done with this child? Or is she going to be thrown by the wayside and being looked at upon as a murderer and the sight of scorn is going to be on your face? Is there any system in place to bring some sort of comfort to this little child?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that we're saying we agree with what the child did.
But she's a child.
She's a child.
Yeah.
And issues one upon the other, upon the other, upon the other that would have caused this child to react the way she did.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that those things are in place because this child is now bearing the guilt of 20 lives. And to think about the mental place that she will be in, there could be thoughts of suicide, all manner of things. So it is very important how you manage and deal with her at this point in time. Yes, nobody is saying what she did was right, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to monitor her mental well-being at this point in time.
Outside of this little girl, several students have taken this really, really hard.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, one boy, he drank poison.
Yeah.
3 others, I'm told, or 2 others attempted suicide.
Mm-hmm.
2 others and a teacher, they flipped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they hurriedly brought them out to Georgetown. They hush up the thing, they don't want people to know what's
Yeah.
happening. But this incident, it will have a lasting effect on all of those teachers, on
Mm-hmm.
all of the students at Mahdia Secondary,
Mm-hmm.
on the community in Mahdia, and the several communities from which those children came, those girls.
Yeah.
How are we prepared to deal with that? I hope Vindi got a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she got a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to just be muddling ourselves. They're not going to come there to muddle themselves around. I'm hoping that they have a plan. Now, while we express our condolences to them, I know that the leader of the opposition was on spot there. He was on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke with many of their family members, their mothers, and so on. And, one of the things I found very disgusting, here is it, we have a crime scene. And you saw the prime minister. I just call Priya the fire chief now. Because at every fire, she's up front as if she's one of the fire persons.
Mm-hmm.
The fire, Priya, the minister of Home Affairs, the prime minister, all of them walking on
Yeah.
walking on the scene.
Yeah. Which, at the end of the day, as you say, it's a crime scene because you've charged a person with murder. And so it is a crime scene. You've now contaminated. You walking all over the place. It is crazy. It's like we live in this cowboy country where, we don't really take time to think about what we're doing.
This is crazy, crazy, crazy. But
Yeah.
I know that the coalition, we have been offering our support to those family
Mhm,
members.
mhm.
We will continue to offer our support, and we're asking you, our viewers, if you have the kind of skill set
Our resources to
and
assist.
resources that you can assist, we'll be happy to have you assist these persons, the community of Mahdia, and the communities from which these girls came from. You'll be readily willing and able to assist them if you can. We're asking you. But Randy, as we move off from that, I recognize that everything is about politics with these people. Everything is about politics with them. And let's talk a little about the arts.
Oh, yes.
We hear all the time about bringing this and bringing back music, and you want to bring drama and you want to bring this, but even that is being stifled and muzzled and manipulated.
Yeah. Generally, I don't feel that they have an interest in the arts. And that's my general feeling as I going to talk about what I believe is gross political interference in the arts. And I don't even need to start with my story. For those persons who are in tune with what is happening, I remember a few months ago when Kwesi Ace took to to Facebook to say, "Hey, I believe that I am being blacklisted. This happened to me. This happened to me. I'm not getting gigs. I've been told that anything that happens at the ministry, I must not be involved. I must not sing here." And this was one of the most popular Guyanese artists.
Well, we have seen that not only with Kwesi, but we've seen that with several other Guyanese artists, especially those who were performing under the coalition during the coalition's term in office.
Yes.
As long as you were one of the persons, the artists performing there, I mean, these people don't work with the coalition; they're artists, and they make their livelihood or make a living by performing at various functions. But once you were identified, then you're now cast aside.
Right.
And we're talking one Guyana.
One Guyana. And it came into sharp focus recently. The Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, and the minister would have come in from much criticism from me because that's where I'm from. I'm from the arts. And so I kind of focus on what Ramson is doing because I believe that, things could be done better. Now, the ministry decided that they're going to do 4 award-winning plays throughout the year. They did Moses Telford's Sawder. And so the second play is supposed to be Hal Bascom's Macantally. And so I auditioned. Well, I contacted the director, and given that I did the role already, he decided, hey, what, I'm going to cast you in the role again because I won Best Supporting Actor when I did the role before. I knew very well that this would have been a problem I expected it. I expected the petty nature of Ramson to show up.
Well, it's not Ramsey alone. All of them petty.
Right. I expected that vindictive, petty side of the PvP to show up. And lo and behold, 2 weeks into the production and rehearsal, the director said, hey, we got a problem. The people at Main Street don't want Critchlow in the play. This is what he came and he told the cast. 2 weeks later, he was offering me 40% to come out the play and be quiet. Because apparently I criticized Ramson's wife. Now, for those people who don't know, right? Ramson's wife plays a big role at the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. And we've been asking, what is her job title? Who is paying her? How is she paid? Is she a consultant? Is she a staff? And we've not gotten any answer.
Randy, before you go any further, I wonder if this was the same young lady who was doing all the performance, conducting all the rehearsals and so
Alana
on.
Sibaran, that's her name?
At the stadium there.
Yes.
When they were having the
Guyana night and all
Guyana
of this,
night and all.
yes. Cricket carnival time.
Yes, because I remember there was the night of the Legends concert.
Yes.
And you had people like
Bonnie
Charmaine
Alves
and Bonnie Alves and them, and you had this
Ruba
lady
singers and them.
from Linden, Tiny, I think they called her. That woman traveled from Linden to come down for a 5 o'clock rehearsal. But this young lady was there going around and around and around. And I was there, I remember one evening, and I heard her speak to some persons, and I was like, And they said, no, we don't want any trouble. But those senior persons were there, and they had to wait till after 9 the night to start their rehearsal for their concert the next day, because she wasn't finished with what?
Yeah.
I remember something they were having at the cultural center, and it rained there, and she took the children down to the cultural center, and whatever was happening there, I think the folks were preparing for Amerindian heritage, something, and she stopped that and went ahead with her business. So these people, and at that same venue, I remember seeing father-in-law, brother-in-law, cousin-in-law,
family, friends.
the whole family and friends business, putting up stage. And so some people say, this man does deal with he does sell vehicles and so on. Is since when this man no carpentry work?
And that is it. So culture, youth, and sport now is a family and friends thing. And so I would have questioned, and the opposition would have questioned, what is the minister's wife's role? And because of that, and I know this because this is what the director said. Oh, why you criticize the man is still upset because you criticize his wife. His wife was there in an artistic capacity. Now, what? We have a director of culture. And if the minister's wife wants to run around and do the director of culture's job, you are putting yourself up for those sort of criticisms.
You are a public figure, so you got to be criticized. And
Right.
this is the thing with these people, they don't like you to criticize anything about them.
No. And so my response to whoever carrying feelings because you're calling the wife name, if they want to have a Will Smith moment, keep my wife name out your mouth, then keep your wife out of the ministry.
Of course.
That is what I will say. Keep your wife out of the ministry and people have no reason to criticize her. And so this is where we are. So I was booted out of a play. Mind you, I have a contract. I have a contract.
So we can collect some big money.
Well, hold on, man. Hold the paperwork's coming. So if the director Godfrey Norton and the minister feels as if this finish, they got something else coming because I have a contract. And so you boot me from the production just because you carrying feelings, because I criticize you. And that's where we are in the art. And imagine that we are at this place where we're discussing on the show the fact that the minister said that he wants somebody in a play because the person was critical of him. That is where we are in this country. It's a sad place.
It's very sad.
It is a sad place.
I have seen the Ministry of Education, and is the minister, this is the minister, but it's coming on the Ministry of Education's Facebook page, where every time the GTU has got to object to something or decide to take action, it's Coretta McDonald. Yesterday we had a mini protest. It was a PNC-led GTU protest.
Right.
And I saw that them went as far as to say, sometime last week, the PNC backbencher, Coretta McDonald. Well, I want to tell Priya, don't forget, you used to sit down in the second row just like me. It's only the other day you got to the front row. So don't cross the bridge you cross. And are you too damn malicious with all yourself? Huh? Are you too damn malicious with all yourself? You don't have anything to say. You're so guttery that's how low you're stooping. But you know, we have to do like Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. But as you were saying, Randy.
No, I'm just highlighting, the fact, and I want to say this. I went, doing some research on the post that Newsroom made about the protest, PNC-led protests, the GTU protests, and people were blazing them.
I noticed.
People were blazing them because this issue of teachers' salary is a sore point. That I don't believe that is a fight the BBB wants to take.
But the thing is, I don't know how teachers arguing for their benefits becomes political.
Like that's what people are saying.
I don't know how it becomes PNC. I mean, every worker in this country arguing for better living conditions, better working conditions. The people in Georgetown asking that you come and clean their drains rather than issuing the finances to the municipality. Dharamlal deciding that they can subcontract this work out to their friends and family who subcontracting it. I mean, our people in Georgetown have got to tell them we ain't the only one gutter contracts for clean gutters. They're not giving the city council the money, and so the garbage collectors are refusing to collect the garbage.
Yep.
I mean, these people are ridiculous, and they're not fit to govern.
Right. And I want to, we there's so many issues, and so I like the fact that they said teachers and their salary got nothing to do with politics. One person asked under the comments, so wait, all the teachers are PNC people?
Seems so. Maybe that's why they're being punished. Maybe that is why they're being punished. You're asking, the union is asking that we finalize the ratio of teacher to pupils, teacher to students. How could that be political?
Yeah.
You're asking for a risk allowance for teachers. How is that political? You're asking for an upgrade in the amount, the $8,000 that you're given for clothing allowance. You're asking for an increase. How is that political? Is it that we're saying to these people, all y'all come and sign up a PNC membership form? I don't understand the foolishness behind it. And the thing is, every time they see, well, I know they're scared of Coretta McDonald. Coretta McDonald has created shivers in them whenever the Coretta McDonald is around. Even when I am not there, it's Coretta McDonald. And I've tried to stay away from the limelight just to prove a point. But Coretta getting blame again. Coretta still getting blame. And so they have a thing with Coretta McDonald. But the fact is, we had the late Kamal Chan, who was the president of GAU. And he was always a parliamentarian.
Yep.
Nobody had no noise, made no noise about it. Even when he was in opposition and they struck against the coalition government, nobody didn't call him out to say, oh, he pulling a PPP line.
I remember the GTU protesting
against the coalition.
The APN UFC government.
That I am a member of the party. Yes. I've been a member of the party since then.
And that was a big protest.
And during that time, the same Priya, Jagdeo, all of them came out to say, pay the teachers, talk to the teachers. But now when teachers are striking against
your
them,
government
is a problem. It's politically led. I know you want to gain cheap political mileage. I mean, these people head could good. Like them boys would say, they bounce their head on the meditation scatter. Get from here, let me say that. Y'all too flimsy with yourself. If you're carrying feelings, Uncle Johnny dead a long time, walk behind him.
Feelings, Johnny.
These people, I mean, you would expect professional people and the people of the Ministry of Education, all of them are some good thugs. They have no mind of their own.
I've seen the Ministry of Education and what it looks like now. And there was some cleansing done.
That's another story we got to talk about when we talk. There's another story we got to talk about.
It has been cleansed.
I don't know if you noticed a post. I think it was Melu put up a post where an officer is telling a parent something with placement of the child at school and so on, and the parent objected, and the officer is telling the parent what the parent must do, and the parent probably said, well, look, I will take this forward, and she give them the email address to the minister and whoever. So when we have ministers who can behave lawless, you don't expect anything better coming from their officers. And this is what the Ministry of Education has now gone to, where persons are afraid to speak. The officers can't speak. And apart from not being able to speak, you go there, you will see how many of the senior officers have been sidelined. Quite a lot of them have been sidelined because it is presumed that they are coalition supporters, so they sideline them.
Yeah.
They sideline them.
But let me just add this in. I mean, and this is something that we see in all sectors, in all parts of the country, far and wide. The PPP has this philosophy of rule by fear. So
and divide and rule, don't forget the
divide
part.
and rule and rule by fear. So, for example, my situation where I was in a play that is sponsored by the ministry, that could have been a win for them.
Yes.
They could have said, hey, one Guyana, look, Critchlow, who criticized us, look, he's in the play, we paid.
I mean, Ramson could have gotten that as part of his budget debate speech.
Right, he could have fed in the cap. The problem with them, the problem that they have is that they cannot take that win because of this philosophy of rule by fear. Because what that would have done, what Critchlow being in the play would have done, it would have said to people, man, I could criticize this government and I could still eat. Right? The other actors, the other people in this society could have said, hey, look, Critchlow, who's criticized this government, look, he's still making money.
It's one Guyana. At that point, they would have been able to say one Guyana.
But their philosophy of rule by fear. So the thing is, if Critchlow criticized me, we must punish him. Look what they did to the mayor. We must take away everything from
him.
We must make you an example so the next man who might be thinking,
especially if he's of Indian descent.
Right. The next person who thinking, I can stand up and criticize this government and I can stand up for somebody else. They must say, nah. Look what I'm to Critchlow, look what I'm to the mayor. We can't do that. So let's stay quiet. Let's just stay quiet and take the little money. And so because of that, they can't take the win that says, hey, one guy, look, Critchlow is included. And that is their problem that they have. They can't give themselves that because they will look bad. Whoever it is that is forcing this philosophy on them, who's saying, hey, y'all do this, do that, I think we know it's who, but we ain't calling no names. This is the person that run the thing. Say, hey, if this person criticize, we gotta crush him. We gotta keep the people quiet.
That's good word.
Keep the people quiet. But I'm going to say this. That only can work for so long. People are going to say, hey, me ain't frightened anymore. I ain't even care. Money, a little bit money they give me anyhow. I am going to stand up for my rights. I'm going to speak out. And people have started to do it. It can only last for so long. Right?
But Randy, while I recognize that our time is counting down on us, I must say to our viewers that the blame for the deaths of 19 children must be played, and we will place it squarely at the feet of this incompetent government. Right there. They must answer. A little more, Randy, and for our viewers there. You know how many injustices is being meted out to those Amerindian children? Let Priya tell us about the young lady who it is alleged, and this is only one, who it is alleged that has been impregnated by a PDP supporter, and they removed her from the school, from the dorms at Mahdia and the school there, and they brought her to President's College. Priya must tell us about that. They must tell us about that. They keep quiet on these issues. They keep quiet on quite a lot of these issues where their supporters. There's one on the East Coast who it is alleged was attempting to interfere with a boy, a male student at the school, but they're keeping it quiet. Quiet, they're keeping it. And these are the wicked set of people who want to turn around to tell other people what they must do and what they shouldn't do. But let me say to you folks, Coretta MacDonald will continue to be Coretta MacDonald. Y'all can't silence me. There is no way that you people can silence me. And when Barra Jagdeo jump up to talk about, the chairman of GCOM feel threatened, you better hope that you don't feel threatened one of these days. I mean, a whole protesters out there with how many 40 persons, and persons are chanting, Claudette Swing, the death is announced of Claudette Swing. But the only person you heard saying that was Coretta McDonald, so she feels threatened. I will address that at another forum. But don't worry, time will tell. You know, Sam Cooke and somebody else sang the song, A Change is Gonna Come. That change is coming like a whirlwind.
Yep.
And that is why you see the PPP scrambling all over. They're running all over.
Sharing out little grants.
Sharing out little grants, sharing out $10,000, red t-shirt, giving out little contracts here and little contracts there. Don't worry. You'll account for all of those monies that you've been squandering. You'll account for them. All those planes that you're chartering to go up, down, and all over the place, doing foolishness. And while we finished, let me tell you this one before we go and tell the viewers.
We got like 2 minutes.
I recognize, Randy, that we have all of our Amerindian brothers and sisters. We brought them out and we're having them at hotels. I mean, I like that. But check the hotels that they're staying at. I hear one name, some Duke Lodge or something like that.
Oh, it's hotels that getting the money.
Friends again and family and favorites. Some hotel names, some Duke Lodge are here. Some of the people staying at. I mean, these are people who already got money. Those owners for Duke Lodge already got monies. Why you don't give to the small people? Huh? Why you can't get some of the other small people to get those? Wickedness in high places. But Randy will take your closing remarks.
My closing remarks. I like to ask Guyanese to be retrospective. Let's look back from 2020 to 2023. 3 years of oil money. How has your life improved? And this is outside of all the other craziness that's happening that we've spoken about for this last hour. All of those negative things. How has your life improved?
Yep.
What is happening in your community? Do you see anything to smile about? You know the song, sir? Do you see anything to smile about? 3 years of oil money. Who's smiling? Not the average man. And so I leave that for people to ponder on. 3 years of oil money. How has your life improved? Ask yourself that. Are you a public servant? Ask yourself that. And that's what I will leave you with.
And so, viewers, I want to thank you for being here with us. It's always a privilege to sit here and to share information with you. But let me say to you, we speak one Guyana. We hear the slogans going one Guyana. We hear one Caribbean, but yet we put a ban and we impose a visa on the Haitians when we signed on to the Treaty of Chaguaramas, and Haiti is a part of CARICOM, so they have to get visas to come here. But yet we are bringing people from India, from Pakistan. We have the Venezuelans here. I mean, it's good to help them. We got the Venezuelans here. We got the Brazilians here. We got so many others here. But you're imposing visas on the Haitians. You don't want the Haitians here. Just ask yourself, viewers, why these things are happening. Ask yourselves why. But let me say to you as we close, Monday the 12th of June, local government elections. The people in Linden, the people in Bartica, the people in the quarantine, the people in Region 5, citizens all over this country, come out and say goodbye to the PPP at these local government elections because they've done absolutely nothing for you for the last 3 years. You can't eat roads. You're not even getting some of the contracts for the roads or small man employment for the contracts. So vote them out come June 12th. With that, we want to say thank you, bye-bye, and see you next Wednesday at 6:30. May God bless you all.
Bye.
I'm such